My name is Sydney Leviston, and I am a senior multimedia arts and communications major here at Holy Names University. I am also the vice president of ASHNU, HNU Student Government. I am delighted to introduce our afternoon session. Founded in 1996 in San Francisco, Youth Speaks has long championed a local, national, and increasingly global movement of young people picking up pens and stepping proudly onto stages, declaring themselves present. One of the world's leading presenters of spoken word performance, education, and youth development programs, Youth Speaks produces local and national youth poetry slams, festivals, and reading series, alongside a comprehensive slate of arts and education programs during the school day, in the after-school hours, and on weekends. The Bigger Picture is an award-winning novel collaboration between the Center for Vulnerable Populations and Youth Speaks, whose mission is to end type 2 diabetes in young people. The Bigger Picture harnesses authentic youth voices to reshape the type 2 diabetes conversation through spoken word, exposing the social and environmental drivers of the epidemic and fomenting change. The campaign has educated over 2,400 public Bay Area high school students, 40 youth poet mentors, and over 1,000 stakeholders about the social determinants of the rising type 2 diabetes crisis. Additionally, The Bigger Picture has garnered national attention, including a feature on the homepage of the Huffington Post, over 1 million video views, recognition on Upworthy, and the Food Farms Films Festival, as well as special presentations at the National Academy of Sciences Institute of Medicine Public Health Literacy Roundtable, the California Diabetes Summit, the National Soda Summit, and the James Beard Conference. The Bigger Picture was recently awarded the AFA Spirit of 1848 Award for Best Video, linking social justice to health, as well as the UCSF 2014 Excellence in Partnership Award, and will be featured in the upcoming documentary In Defense of Food about food activist and best-selling author Michael Pollan. Please give a warm welcome and generous welcome to the poets of Youth Speaks.
Hi, y'all. How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Have you enjoyed yourself thus far? Well, my name is Tatiana Willis. I'm a poet at Youth Speaks, and I am also a part of the Bigger Picture project campaign here. And I have the wonderful, wonderful job of presenting all this interesting and very important information on type 2 diabetes. But before I get into all that, let's do a quick roll call. Do we have any Mills College students in the building? Ooh, turn up, okay. Skyline students? A little bit? We're gonna try that one more time. Let's start from me. Mills College students? That's what I'm talking about. Skyline students? Third time's the charm. Skyline students? That's it, that's their way. Sometimes the best way to speak is to be silent. And I respect that. Do we have any students from San Francisco in the building? That's what I'm talking about. Frisco, represent. Okay, you heard that? Sorry, a little bias. How about Holy Names University? Are y'all in the building? Of course. Okay, what about any humans in the building? That's what I'm talking about. I see a lot of superstars in here, but humans too. Okay. So, this slide says take out your clickers, but we're not gonna do that because the technology isn't working that well. So we're gonna skip through a couple questions, and we're gonna get to the important ones. And so for this, I'm just gonna have you raise your hand if you know, for the answer you feel is best. This is not a quiz, you won't be graded on this. This is just, answer as you see fit. There are things that you can do to prevent getting type 2 diabetes. If you think that is true, raise your hand. If you think that is false, raise your hand. If you're just, not really sure about that right now, raise your hand. That's what I'm talking about. Honesty is the best policy. And the real answer is true. So all y'all who raised your hands for true, you guys are awesome. I don't have candy to like hand out or anything, but you guys are great. Exactly. That's why we don't have candy to give out. Okay, next question. Which of the following will make you less likely, which of the following will make it less likely that you will get type 2 diabetes? A, living in a neighborhood with clean, safe parks. I think that's, okay. B, not eating candy or drinking soda and exercising more. Couple for that, okay. C, living near a grocery store or farmer's market. Couple for that, okay. D, all of the above. Oh, y'all cheated, okay. E, none of the above. Did you give them the answers? Somebody gave y'all a cheat sheet. All of the above was the question, but for those of you who answer A, B, C, you guys are right too, because you have to do all those things. Next question. If you could drink, okay, these are a lot of numbers. I'm gonna just do 1, 5, and 10. If you could drink either soda or water, how likely is it that you would choose to drink soda? 1, not at all likely. Okay. 5, kinda, you're like, so-so. Okay, and then we got 10, very likely. So we got a lot for not at all likely, which is really good. That's probably why you guys are here. So really good. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1, 3, 5. We're gonna break it down. This is all about breaking it down, okay? So on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you care about preventing type 2 diabetes? 1, I don't care at all. That's good, because I had a pen ready to write down names. 3, kinda care, kinda don't. That's okay, it's okay. I'm sure by the end you may change feelings. 5, I care a lot. Oh, well, look at you. We have a wonderful audience of people who care, okay? Other people who care, Youth Speaks really cares about this issue. Youth Speaks provides safe spaces for youth to tell their stories. They want to apply and create social change, basically, is what Youth Speaks is all about. Other people who care, the Center of Vulnerable Populations. And I know that kind of, may sound a little strange because you're like, who's vulnerable in this diabetes things? We're only supposed to be talking about diabetes, but actually the Center of Vulnerable Population is like diabetes is affecting so many people that there are people who are vulnerable and susceptible to type 2 diabetes. So CVP works to improve health for communities that need it the most. So the Bigger Picture Project, why I'm here. The Bigger Picture is a partnership between Youth Speaks, the UCSF Center for Vulnerable Population, to combat the spread of type 2 diabetes. But then you're like, what is type 2 diabetes? Actually, the most important thing at this point is to differentiate between type 2 and type 1 diabetes. So has anybody heard of type 1 diabetes? Anybody want to give a guess to how you get type 1? Born with it, right? People don't know how. It's like this really strange thing. All these doctors we have, they're like, we don't really know how people get type 1. But then there's type 2, and the difference between type 2, aka adult onset diabetes, quickly becoming adolescent onset diabetes. Type 2 diabetes accounts for over 95% of diabetes cases. It used to be found only in adults, but has rapidly increased among young adults and children, especially in urban and poor neighborhoods and in communities of color. But also, an important thing about type 2 diabetes is that it's totally preventable. That although 95% of the cases are type 2, it is completely 100% preventable. But what does type 2 diabetes look like? Does anybody in here know anybody with type 2 diabetes? A lot of us. are affected by this. So when you get type 2 diabetes, which is, very thing, this disease, if untreated, can also lead to a number of ailments, including high blood pressure, stroke, kidney failure, blindness, erectile dysfunction, okay? Heart attack, amputations of limbs, and even death. A completely 100% preventable disease, if untreated, can cause all of these horrible things. Now, You Speaks is a, nonprofit organization that is really about youth literacy. So we have a wonderful poem about what this disease looks like if untreated. Also, trigger warning, it gets a little gross towards the end. Just watch.
We used to make miracles together. From baby shoes to birthday dances to skateboard nights, we were as punctual as recess, swiftly crossing the punctured asphalt, stopping on a dime the minute the freeze bell rang. We were a hand in glove, a size 13 laced in. This foot that has tasted the grass of Humboldt between my toes and the beaches of Hawaii. You were a friend to lean on, and now I'll never be able to stand on my own 2 feet again.
That was disgusting. Did y'all see that? Crazy thing is, though, the person in that video was only 32 years old. So imagine being 32 and not having a part of your foot left. This disease can do that. So I don't know if you guys caught that stat in Jose Vadi's piece, but since the start of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, over 1,000 Americans have had all or part of their leg amputated due to injury. In that same time period, over 70,000 Californians have had all or part of their leg amputated as a result of diabetes. That's crazy, right? Did you have a question? Well, this bigger picture campaign started here in California. So I think they chose California to show that Californians, that we are a part of this, to include us. But I'm sure as we move forward into other states and present in different places, they'll also do the study there, like how many people. But I think they chose California because we're here in California and to make it more personal. But 70,000 Californians when there's a war in Iraq, that's crazy. Again, it's 100% preventable. Next, so 25% of white youth, 1 in 3 youth overall. Almost 50% of African American and Latino youth will contract type 2 diabetes in their lifetime. 50%. So if you are African American or Latino in the building and you have one friend in the building, one of you will contract type 2 diabetes if we don't do anything about this disease, if we don't come together and try to create change about this problem. 10 years ago, only 1 in 11 were pre-diabetic. Nearly 1 in 4 youth ages 12 to 19 have prediabetes. 10 years ago, 1 in 11. Today, 1 in 4. Look how fast it's moving. And 50% of these youth are at a greater risk of developing full-blown diabetes within 5 years. 100% preventable disease. So it's like, why do you think, how can that happen? You're like, what is it that is making these changes in our environment? And So the food and beverage industry in the United States spends almost $12 billion a year, $1 million every hour of every day, targeting people to buy unhealthy food. $12 billion on getting youth to buy unhealthy foods. They spend money on trying to get you to hurt yourself. And I think, did anybody know that in the building? How much money they spent on targeting young people? Well, one of my good friends by the name of Obasi Davis, he's a poet at You Speaks, he wrote a poem about how he feels targeted by the food and beverage industry. And so we're gonna hear Targets by Obasi Davis.
My middle school, on 14th and Adeline, wading in a concrete sea of decay, a central pivot between two liquor stores that witness more dead bodies than a funeral home and create more walking cadavers than a zombie apocalypse. Two stationary assassins gunning for the preteens caught in the crosshairs. My classmates and I were all unintentionally killing ourselves at 13. Targets. Guzzling down a soda while walking past wheelchaired amputees and crack addicts because we weren't aware of our own bodies collapsing after the sweet, euphoric sting leapt from our tongue. When I went to the liquor store, I always gravitated toward the orange soda. Kel's words rattling in my subconscious.
Who loves orange soda?
Kel loves orange soda. Is it true? I do. Ooh. Not knowing what I was swallowing. A toxic solution of high fructose corn syrup, caffeine, and artificial orange flavors slowly decomposing my body from the inside out. Not so appealing when you break it down. In my city, 44% of children drink 1 or more sodas a day, adding 1 or more pounds a month, sending us hurtling towards hospital beds and cemeteries. Who really likes orange soda? Insurance companies, the American Beverage Association, hospitals, and mortuaries, swelling their pockets on the rapidly rising diabetes rates. Tasty poisons are misleading because we all want to trust gullible taste buds, but look behind the facade. Sugary drinks are the leading cause in diabetes. Sodas killed more colored people than Jim Crow, drowning us in corrosive pools of sugar water. Soda companies reaping the profits of our addiction, pushing bottles like weight on corners. I've seen fiends from East Oakland to the Mission ingesting carbonated poison. It's no coincidence that over 40% of Black and Latino youth will get type 2 diabetes in their lifetime. It's strategy, a minority hunt, with liquor stores for hitmen and sugar for bullets. Aim for the sweet spot.
He's amazing, right? He was also Oakland Youth Poet Laureate last year. He said sugar killed more than Jim Crow. Sugar killed more colored people than Jim Crow. That's crazy. So why is this campaign so urgent? Why should we get involved? Think of everything I just said about Latinos and Black people being targeted, that 1 in 4 youth already have pre-diabetes. Our lives are in danger. So I want you to step up and take back your health, right? Because it's important that we do that. So we also have somebody here who I love so much. He's my homie. And, you know, we've been seeing videos, but we also have the pleasure of having Joshua Merchant, one of the wonderful poets at Youth Speaks. He is remarkable. He changes lives, and he's going to change your life right now with this poem he's going to do about why it's important for you to get involved in this issue. Let's welcome Joshua Merchant.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I said hi. I'm sorry, that was a little dry. Just saying. So, yeah, I'm gonna share a poem, a little backstory before I do. So this poem also became a PSA, and if you go to the Bigger Picture campaign website and stuff, you'll see it. But like the very, very first draft of this poem I wrote for a project. I was taking this environmental science class, and the teacher was white, all the students was white, except like 3 people. I was one of the only people of color in the class. And there was a lot of talk around eating healthier and why that's important and why, you know, folks need to change their lifestyles. And there weren't really a lot of people who came from different backgrounds that like weren't on farms or like have hella money. And so I wrote this and got an A for my environmental science project, actually. I was very happy about that. So, yeah. Now I'm gonna shut up, read a poem, and sit down. I'll let Tatiana continue. James is in the 8th grade. Doesn't have enough money to support his diet. Not a vegetarian out of fear of starving in his own home. Has never known the monotony of assembly line, but he pictures his public school's lunch line. When he first imagined farming, he dreamed of straw hats, pitchforks, cows, and barns. It was like a fairy tale. He didn't know about the mounds of metal and synthetic material used to create what he eats. He is slave to the twisted food system. His body systematically inclined to break down, like the buildings that are broke down for new shopping centers, forcing his neighbors into homelessness. He won't be able to differentiate corporate farmers from drug dealers selling venomous products to innocent people for extensive profits. But like crack, the dollar menu is cheap. When James wakes up each morning, the most difficult question he faces is how much is there in the fridge? 3 boxes of generic pasta in the freezer, 1 box of Captain Crunch, but no guarantee there's any milk left. He's built walls out of sugar. Easy to hide behind the taste buds, bombarding focus of issues in his life. High for at least 10 minutes. He eats because he's hungry. He's not saving the economy or the geological state of the planet. The kind of survival that does not allow for self-preservation. James has never experienced the taste of fruits without pesticides, like he's never experienced a neighborhood without bullets. Some things just go hand in hand in his life. Corruption and lack of money and lack of opportunities, opportunity and chemically altered meals. He can't hear the cries of exploited farmers, ruined land, dirty water, abused cattle, polluted air when he bites into Big Macs, because the cries of shattered mothers' backs, their seeds slipping into cracks with no sunlight, is louder and closer to home. The stains of blood permanently marked on the sidewalk from a friend dying in his arms are a bit brighter in his mind than the tears of slaughtered animals. He was raised to treat spilled milk the same way he treats spilled blood. Gotta suck it up. Doesn't matter if it's full of pus lying across the floor. His mother paid too much for it. Suck it up. Doesn't matter if wounds are fresh with gunpowder. Tears won't fill bellies or heal scars. He doesn't care about eating responsibly. His responsibility is to shut down the sound of his stomach growling. He hates that noise. A constant reminder he's a product of his environment, genetically engineered to fail. Bloodlines to the stories of ancestors harvested from their natural habitat, shipped across the ocean, tightly packaged, processed into free laborers he can still feel the whips of approval on his back. Can't take being ridiculed, being a part of two uncontrollable, destructive systems at the same time. James is 13. His mind wants to forget it all. His body getting weaker, doesn't know which issues to care about the most. He just feels them. He just feels them constantly. Thank you.
What? That was amazing. So like James, a lot of things that have to do with the type 2 diabetes epidemic is that it's not all his fault. It's not that this campaign is about you necessarily eating. Some things are far beyond our own individual control. So there are institutional factors like access to healthy and affordable foods and drinks, access to safe maintenance, recreation facilities, parks, PE in school, access to water fountains, marketing and advertising, family culture, stress, screen time, meaning like how much you see advertisements and being like on your phone, because we're all on our phone all the time. I am. Reliance on cars and public transportation, all these things, all these institutional factors sometimes we don't have control over. So how many of us does this park look familiar to? A park like this? Me too, okay? Raise your hand if you have a broke down park in your neighborhood. Look around. It's happening a lot. Next slide, liquor store. So raise your hand if you have a liquor store within 5 blocks. Okay. Raise your hand if you have a liquor store within 3 blocks of your own home. Raise your hand if it's around the corner. Look around. Okay, so raise your hand if there's a farmer's market or grocery store with organic food in your neighborhood. Oh, that's pretty good. Best I've seen so far. Fast food. So raise your hand if you see a fast food place on your way home. Oh, wow. So all these things are very much so intentional. And the Bigger Picture campaign wants to combat we want to combat this issue. Fruits and vegetables. So there's not a lot of fruits and vegetables promoted on the television. I see more McDonald's commercials and unhealthy food. But we know that it's intentional. We know that although we may not have the power, we know that we can come together and push people to change the situation that's going on, to change the liquor stores and things. So this Health Justice Manifesto, written by the wonderful Jay Cho, is all about what our demands are as people if we come together to combat type 2 diabetes.
1. We want an end to type 2 diabetes in young people. We believe that by causing diabetes, greed-blinded corporations and deficient living conditions are directly responsible for blinding, maiming, and killing thousands annually.
This disease overwhelmingly devastates poor people of color.
1 in 3 Latino children.
1 in 2 black children who are born in 2000 will develop diabetes in their lifetime.
This is no longer our grandparents' disease, but a reality of heart attack, severed limbs, and impotence
that many of us will face in the next 10 years.
If we do not hold the food industry
and government responsible for their crimes.
We believe that by sharing our stories,
organizing our communities,
petitioning the government,
and bettering our lifestyles, we can determine the future of our health and communities.
We want affordable, healthy food, fit for consumption by human beings. We believe that health should not have a price tag.
That quality food should be available in all schools.
Workplaces and neighborhoods.
The neighborhoods.
and neighborhoods.
Today, a bunch of broccoli costs more.
More than a full meal at a fast food restaurant.
There are no grocery stores in poor neighborhoods, but liquor stores and fast food chains on every block.
These are not conditions where we can expect to live long, healthy lives.
We want education for our people that exposes the true nature of the decadent American food industry.
We believe it is our right to know where our food comes from and how it is made.
What animal does a hot dog come from?
What exactly is disodium glutamate?
The food industry sells us healthy brands and options
Made with the same corn products with the same sugar content.
by the same 4 major corporations.
We believe that when we educate ourselves and our communities,
And through boycotting and media pressure,
Force the food industry to be more transparent.
These artificial foods will no longer be accepted.
we want safe spaces in our community to exercise and play.
We believe it is the individual's responsibility to maintain physical fitness,
However, it is nearly impossible for those of us who live in neighborhoods without safe streets, parks, or playgrounds.
where the nearest substitute is often inside a fast food restaurant's playpen.
Recreational facilities are readily available for wealthy neighborhoods, while abandoned faced-off lots dot the landscape of low-income communities.
We demand the redistribution of local government funds.
To make these resources available,
Available to all communities,
All communities.
To all communities across California.
regardless of income.
we want you to take action.
We want you to take action.
We want you to take action.
We believe, in accordance with the above demands,
it is the individual's right and duty.
To make steps towards making these beliefs reality.
we believe the revolution is yours to lead.
Is
Yours to lead.
To lead.
To lead.
So, hopefully from your claps, that means you're really pumped up and you really like what we just heard and you can take action. There are things that you can do as an individual to help the collective group as a whole. I'm talking about all of Americans with this type 2 epidemic. So you can petition your school to remove all vending machines with unhealthy food and drinks. You can petition to get clean and safe parks in your neighborhood, grocery shop with your family, boycott companies that market unhealthy foods and drinks to young people, demand healthy lunch and drinks and working water fountains at school, organize your community to get healthy, affordable food in your neighborhood. You can petition your school for more physical activity, support policies that reduce soda and sugary drink consumption, but the most important thing you can do, if you're like, I'm not about to petition anything right now, I got enough homework, I got enough everything else, what you can do is a word. You can talk about it, you can tweet about it at the Bigger Picture campaign, yes, which has a Twitter. It also has, does it have an Instagram? And Instagram. Upload your story. You can get involved. You can upload your story, your own personal thing on YouTube or whatever form you want to. Your form of literacy, you can watch the PSAs. You can take a picture of this right now and talk about whether you like it or you don't like it. You can request a school or community visit. We'll come to you. Just let us know. Download the toolkit, spread the word via Facebook, Twitter, and Google. At the end, if we have time, after I do these quick questions, I would like to perform my poem, but if we don't have time, then it's not that important, so we're just gonna. So, we'll come back if there's time and you guys are willing to wait. Okay, so we're gonna redo the study, okay? We're gonna ask the question again. So, there are things that you can do to prevent getting type 2 diabetes. True, raise your hand. False, don't try it. Don't raise your hand. Not sure, you shouldn't be. Of course. Okay, next one. Which of the following will make it less likely that you will get type 2 diabetes? I got a feeling all of you are thinking D, all of the above. Yeah? If it's E, come see me. We'll talk. I'll have an extended version. Yes, you were right. Look at that. If you could drink either soda or water, how likely is it that you would choose to drink soda? 1, not at all likely. It's okay. You can stay honest. I'm not judging you, okay? That's not for me to do. 5, you're like, still kind of in between. I feel it, okay? 10, very likely that you're gonna drink. That's cool. Nobody's judging you. It's good. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you care about preventing type 2 diabetes? I don't usually judge, but I might for this one. 1, I don't care at all. Yes. 3, kinda, not so much. It's cool, that's fine. We come see me. 5, I care a lot. Yes, clap it up for y'all, for yourselves. Okay, so do we have time? We have like 1 minute. Is it really, I mean, you don't have to hear my poem, it's not that. Okay. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Okay, I'm gonna do this poem fairly quickly. I'm not sure how long it is, I haven't timed it. I got it? Okay, okay. So I wrote this poem while I was in workshop for the Bigger Picture campaign. So we learned a whole bunch of information, more than we could put in this slide. And so this is a culmination of my feelings towards type 2 and how it's perceived to be for people who are obese. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm a little plus size queen, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I remember during middle school PE, we had to run the mile. But luckily, my first year, that turned into laps on a medium-sized area on the roof. I jogged, skipped mostly. But my second year, we had to run the mile around Rossi Park. I had already alerted my teachers that this was going to be my revolutionary act, to walk the mile. But I honestly knew that my asthma would finish me before I could finish this race. I lost friends by the block. And in the end, it was us, the fattest girl and fattest boy in the class, and he chose silence and I chose comedy, so by default I had more friends than him. "Tatiana," they screamed, "you better not let him beat you." We looked at each other and began our interpretation of running, "Go Tatiana, and I could hear a few of his friends, go Wilson, but I beat him. I wasn't slow, I was just fat. And this was the only other time I could think of me running other than from this poem. I feel like I'm always one soda away from type 2. And by luck, I escaped type 1, but that's like dodging a bullet and committing suicide with a gun. And my kitchen feels a lot like the shooting range these days. Feels a lot like the mile these days. And I wish my emotions wasn't so invested, so I can write the most eloquent poem about type 2, tell you all its facts, hit you in the gut with reality, but the truth is, the stats don't tell my story. How I could feel the sun kissing my face as I sleep dress, hear my grandpa trod up the creaky steps. Before he opens the door, I could smell the oil, the dough, the joy. My breakfast every day before school was a dozen donut holes. I love food out of ritual. My grandfather rarely said I love you, but he made sanctuary out of Saturdays for us. Took the long way to McDonald's so we can giggle and gather up our hunger. I love food out of a ritual. Learned to find I love you in white paper bags instead of his lips. This is about me and obesity. How those concepts aren't always separate, how close my friends park to the curb, because I don't just tip the scale, I tip the car. This is about how I starve myself before blood work, praying it doesn't pick up the candy from my last time a month. This is me praying I don't get diabetes. This is me praying that I don't forget diabetes knocked 2 uncles off their feet and one is barely standing. This is my battle between diet and dialysis. This is a lot like running, like Wilson being diabetes and me praying I beat it. Thank you. I just wanted to give you the connect with us, that if you want to research more or learn more about this very personal and dear topic to me, I lost an uncle to type 2 diabetes. And what this presentation is about is that we have the ability to save uncles, to save sisters, to save people. If we get this together, you can save lives. If this would have started 20 years ago, I could possibly still have 2 uncles. I could have 3 uncles together and they could all have all their limbs. I have family members without limbs because of this disease. You can change things. This can work, but only if you get behind it and you get involved. So connect with us, thebiggerpicture.org, youspeaks.org, bravenewvoices.org, youtube.com/youspeaks, facebook.com/youspeaks. Get involved, come to me, and we'll talk. Oh, and the Bigger Picture campaign. Big Pic Campaign is the Twitter and Instagram handle. Got it? It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Before you leave, I have a nice little thank you. So thank you so much from HNU.
Thank you so much. There was a woman clicking things while I was doing this presentation. She's remarkable. You may have seen her earlier. Her name is Natasha Huey, and I just want to thank her for helping me co-facilitate this today. And the wonderful man you heard, Joshua Merchant, he's getting some too.
Let's give another round of applause for that amazing, inspiring, touching performances. That really touched me. My grandfather actually passed away this morning, and he had type 2 diabetes, and my uncle has type 2 diabetes. So this is very close to my heart, and what you shared at the end is really close to my heart. So thank you. Thank you. In this next part of the afternoon, we have a little bit of a break, about 30 minutes, and it's a great opportunity to connect with community organizations, to really be involved or just being more informed about the work that's being done in the community. So I hope that you'll take this time to connect with folks in the community, talk with these wonderful folks from Youth Speaks and the Bigger Picture campaign about some of the work they're doing and how you can contribute. I have a few announcements. So the community food storytelling is going to be in Brennan Lounge. And then from Talk to Action by Claudia Albano, that'll be in Brennan 109. And then Breaking Down the Wall of Poverty and Hunger will be in the Black Box Theater here in the VCPA. Before you leave today, please do give us an evaluation. We'd love to hear how this event was for you. So all of you should have received that in your program books, but if you lost it or whatever else, please don't hesitate to ask one of the volunteers, and we'll provide you a new one. Again, thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.